Get ready to perform a double discovery that will leave everyone speechless. A self-working gem using any shuffled deck, this miracle looks effortless every single time. So grab a deck, hit subscribe for more confidence boosting tutorials, and let's dive in to the magic. Okay, so as ever, let's kickstart by taking a look at the effect itself, and we're going to start with a shuffled deck. So just hand the cards to a spectator and they can shuffle those as much as they like. The cards really are mixed. Now you're going to explain to the spectator that in every deck of cards, there's a special card that can be used to control all of the other cards. In fact, if used correctly, that card can be used to find any card that you tell it to. And so now we're going to run an experiment to see how that works. Now, the first thing we need to do is just to identify some cards that we want to find. So you're going to take a look through the deck here with a view to removing a couple of target cards. And these are just some cards that you think will be good for this. So let's see. Okay, I think maybe this card just here as one, and one more, I think. Yes, okay, let's go with this card just here. And with your target cards removed, you can just place these on the table. You can now show the target cards to the spectator. So here we can see we have a black 10 and a red jack. And you can explain to the spectator that we're going to see whether we can find the matching pairs to these cards. So in this instance, that's the other black 10 and the other red jack. And to do that, we're going to need a control card. You can explain to the spectator that we're going to let them select the control card themselves. And we want that selection process to be as fair as possible. So you can just give the deck a quick shuffle. You're now going to deal cards into a single pile on the table. Explain to the spectator that to save time, you're going to deal the cards in pairs like so. So just dealing into a single pile, and you're going to invite the spectator to stop you at any point. It's a totally free choice. Let's say they stop you just here. You're now going to take the top card just here and show this to the spectator as the selected control card. So here we can see the 5 of clubs. And you're going to explain this may look like an ordinary card, but it's actually capable of some really special things. And the first thing we need to do is just to give the control card here a sense of the cards that we want it to find. So you're just going to touch the control card onto each of the target cards. So the black 10 and the red jack. And now it's got a sense for those cards, we need to switch the control card on. And to do that, all we do is just give the card one complete revolution. Explaining that the control card is now fully activated and ready for action, we're going to place it face up into the deck. So you're just going to place it face up onto the cards over here, and then take all of the dealt cards here and just place these on top. So the control card is now face up at a random position in the middle of the deck. However, you can explain at this point that some people get suspicious. They think that the magician might not have actually placed the control card in the middle, or that it's not face up, or that they've secretly removed it somehow. So what we're going to do now is to prove that it really is face up in the middle of the deck. And to do that, once again, you're just going to deal cards to the table. Once again, dealing in pairs to save time. You're just going to deal cards into a single pile. Just dealing cards to show that the control card really is there. And there we can see it, the 5 of clubs, the control card face up in the middle of the deck. And now once again, you're just going to ask the spectator to stop you dealing whenever they like. It's a totally free choice. Let's say they stop you just here. You can place the rest of the cards to the side. At this point, you can just emphasize to the spectator that from a shuffled deck, they freely selected the control card, and that card is now lost at a random position in a random number of cards, again freely chosen by themselves. There is absolutely no way that you could know where that card now is. However, with a quick flick of the deck like so, we can set it to work. Explain that quick flick signifies to the control card to go out and search for the target cards. You can now just spread through the cards in order to find the control card. So there we can see it just there. And you're going to remove the control card and the card either side that it's found. And you can just place the other cards to the side. You can now just place each of the found cards directly beneath the target cards. And now you can reveal that the first found card beneath the target black 10 is indeed the matching black 10. And finally, for the double miracle, you can reveal the second found card beneath the target red jack just happens to be the matching red jack. And that is some serious control. Okay, so let's take a look at the secret to this effect. Now, you really do start with a shuffled deck. The spectator can shuffle the cards as much as they like. It all adds to the impact. You're now going to take the deck with a view to removing a couple of target cards, and here's what you do. You're secretly going to take a look at the card that's second from bottom and the card that's fourth from bottom. So here we can see the 10 of hearts and the ace of clubs. And you're going to remove the matching cards to these as your target cards. So in this case, the other red 10 and the other black ace. So you're just going to spread through the cards until you find the matching cards. And here we can see the matching red 10. Now the card that matches the second from bottom card, so the red 10 in this case, you're going to remove and place on the table to your right. And you'll continue to look for the second target card. So in this case, that's the matching black ace. And there we can see it just there. And so the target card that matches the card that's fourth from bottom, so the black ace in this instance, you're going to remove and place on the table to your left. With the original matching cards still second and fourth from the bottom of the deck, you're now going to shuffle them so they become second and fourth from the top. And you're going to do this with a simple overhand shuffle. So just simply shuffling off cards as normal into the other hand until you get to the last few cards in the deck. And you're then going to shuffle these cards off individually, moving the matching cards so they're now second and fourth from the top. You're now going to deal cards into a pile on the table, but here you're going to deal the cards in pairs. So taking a couple of cards and placing them down, and then continuing this with the rest of the cards. And once you've dealt a few pairs, you're just going to invite the spectator to stop you at any point, and it really is a free choice. Let's say they stop you just here. You're now going to take the top card of the dealt cards and just show this to the spectator. And here you can touch this card to the target cards or whatever you like, depending on your presentation. You're then going to place this card face up onto your remaining cards over here. And then take all of the dealt cards here and place these on top. You're now going to deal another pile of cards to the table, again dealing in pairs, so taking 2 cards at a time. And here you're going to keep on dealing until you see the face-up control card. And there we can see it, just there. And once you've seen your control card, you're going to continue dealing pairs and just invite the spectator to stop you at any point. Again, it's a totally free choice. Let's say they stop you just here. You can place the rest of the cards to the side. You're now going to spread through the cards here until you get to your face-up control card, and there we can see it just there. You're now going to remove this card from the pack along with the card on either side. You can now just move each of these cards beneath the target cards, with the card on top going to the right and the card underneath going to the left. And all that's left to do now is to reveal the remarkable result, in this case that we've found the matching black ace and the matching red 10. And there you have it. Remember, every effect you learn is proof that action and belief create results. So keep taking those steps in life and you can achieve more than you ever imagined. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep the magic alive.